What are scientists hoping to find out?
Well, one of the key reasons this mission has been launched is that comets are primitive, so they actually have information on them which tells us a lot about the early stages of the evolution of the solar system. So by looking at comets in detail will give us a clue where the Earth came from and hopefully even where life may have come from.
It's such an extraordinary mission, isn't it? I mean, it's so complicated. There are lots of reasons why it might go wrong, right?
There are. I mean, the spacecraft has been in hibernation, as we've seen, for quite a few years now. It's just like turning your TV into standby mode. We've got to turn it back on again.
And how's that going to be?
Well, hopefully it's going to be fine, but you can't just go up and reboot it to get it to come back on again. So there's a risk there. And the other risk is they've got to land this thing on a comet. Now they're travelling hundreds of thousands of kilometres per hour, and to land on a moving rock which is just 4 kilometres across is no mean feat.
So there's lots that could go wrong. How on earth do you attempt to do something like that?
There are tricks. That the spacecraft is actually coming up behind the comet, so actually they're travelling at a very similar speed. So it will actually match the speed of the comet, and it's just going to drop it down on the surface. Once it's landed, they're actually going to have to hook the thing onto the comet so that it doesn't get blown off, because of course as comets get closer to the sun, they eject material. Now of course there's a good chance that some material could get ejected and could blow the thing off. So it's having to hook itself on so it can hang on as it's travelling around.
And do you share the scientists' confidence that they can do this? How are you feeling about the whole operation?
I do share the confidence. We've seen some amazing missions. You have to look back at the Mars mission where they managed to drop a spacecraft down to the surface of Mars using winches and pulleys and all manner of wonderful techniques. So yeah, I'm confident that it's going to do well. The more exciting thing, I think, is what we're going to find when we actually get there.
Okay, I'll ask that next. But why this comet in particular? Because there's so many to choose from. Why
there are, but this one is a good one to look at because it's got a known orbit. So it goes around the sun once every 6.4 years. So we know where it's going to be, and it's easy and accessible to get the spacecraft to it. And it's going to be going quite close to the sun, about 180 million kilometres. So it's close to the sun, so it's going to have a lot of volatility. There's going to be a lot of activity on the surface, which means there's a lot for us to look at.
And what do you hope they'll find?
Well, I think the things we're going to be looking at is where the building blocks for life came from. And if we can look at the composition of the comet and how it's reacting with the sun, we might get some clues.